up your head, pick up your body. Get on the bus, it's time to party. It's Gregory. It is a Saturday night, Gregory. Take your socks off and take your pants on. Get in the car and drive on.
Hello, everyone. It's me. You should know who I am. It's my podcast. It's Greg Stone. Greg Stone, your favorite guy. First of all, we got something different today. I am in the wild city of Las Vegas. I am staring off right now at the strip and the strippers and the sex. So much goddamn sex in this city. I love it. So we're going to be. I had guests, and I told them all, go home. No guests. It's just me today. We're going to see if we can. We're not going to see. We're just going to talk. I know I could talk for a goddamn hour. I wanted to give you guys an update on my trip, everything that was kind of going down. I think it was it's been kind of nuts. And I don't understand times, so I schedule a guest, and they're in bed now because I don't know. It's like Vegas time is a different time. It's like you're in a weird. It's a the time doesn't really make sense here. It's 1 o'clock here, and I think it's 7 a.m. in New York. It's 4 a.m. in New Jersey and LA time. God knows what's going on over there. So I fucked up the whole schedule. And I figured it doesn't matter anyway. I'm just going to tell you guys about my trip, which has been wild and fun and crazy. Also, I want to say this that I don't know. This is going to be a lot of just me just going to myself. So there's no one going to be here to tell me if things I'm saying is bad. So you got to do the editing at home. Okay. Like if you're like, yeah, that was a weird thing to say, Greg. That's on you. You guys now, you're the Brendan and Anthony at home now. So feel free to correct me, while you're driving the car. Be like, Greg, that's fine. But man, this has been a fucking trip. I don't know if what I told you or what you guys know, but it was my birthday. I turned 40 and my wife is having a baby. So she was like, let's fucking go. Let's go to Vegas we went to LA for a week, and then then we drove from Vegas. We made that cool trip. It's like that swingers drive, that we're going to Vegas, baby. Vegas, baby. We drove from LA to Vegas. I did, it was 4 hours. It's not bad. Not bad. I did the whole thing, dude. It was asleep for about 80% of it. It was 120 degrees driving over, which was crazy. Like you had air conditioning, so it's fine. But anytime I'd like lift my arm out of the shade, my arm would burn. And I was like, this shit's hot. There was so many cars just pulled over to the side of the road because either overheated or I think their tires were melting, man. So I was just kind of just praying to God we made it. But then every other car on the road made it too. So I was like, oh, we'll be fine. This is totally going to be fine. So I'll start off by telling you LA. And this is just going to be my whole trip. I'm going to tell you what kind of happened, the stories as they lie. As I'm going to play it as it lie. We're gonna. I get on a plane. I don't know if you guys know this. I don't like flying. I know you know that. I don't. I hate flying. Freak out. I don't. This is the thing too. I'm not afraid of dying. I don't care about dying on a plane. I do. I know we all die, and I'm fine. But it's the anxiety of anticipated turbulence. I don't. That is what I am worried about. Is the sitting on a plane waiting. Is this thing gonna just like rocking back and forth the whole time? This is gonna freak me out. And so that's what like kind of gets me. It's just the anxiety of being scared. It's not even the fear. I'm afraid of the fear, which because I think it was last time I was in LA where I had the trip that really shook me up. I was flying to Los Angeles, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Um, the plane, we hit turbulence so bad, the plane drops, and a food cart turns over. I want to say the air things came down; those little like masks came down. It was crazy shaky. The lady behind me starts crying. I kind of like turned around. But I still had my seatbelt on, and somehow we were angled in the right way that I was able to like kind of see her and talk to her. And I just kind of held her hand a little bit. I was like, "We're gonna be good. Don't worry. Turbulence. Nothing wrong with turbulence. You know what I mean?" My mind just goes into that like it's easier for me to handle shit if I'm kind of handling someone else's shit. And I wasn't even scared when it happened. And then the plane level, was fine and we were good. And I talked to this lady the whole time. It was good. But getting off of that plane, now it was the the anxiety got really bad. And then I was flying with then Michelle Wolf. I started opening for Michelle Wolf, and I don't know if I ever told you guys this story. So I didn't like to fly, and I kind of just wouldn't fly. And then Michelle, we wrote the White House Correspondents' Dinner, and I mean she performed it, and then she was in a, I think we were in Burlington, and someone calls in a fucking bomb threat to her show. She freaks out. She's got Anthony with her. Anthony, she's like, I just want to be around friends. He goes, hey, call Greg, get him out here. We'll fly him out. He'll open for us too. The three of us will do the show. We'll have a good time. They call me and I go, yeah, no, I can't make it. And she was like, well, I'm going to pay you an exceptional amount of money, so you need to come open here. And I went, I got the cable guy coming tomorrow. I can't possibly do that. Anthony gets on the phone and he's like, dude, stop it. Fuck the cable guy. You need to get to Burlington. You need to get here and open for her. So it was like a 45-minute flight. I woke up at 6 a.m., bought the flight. Anthony took kind of care of everything so I didn't have to stress with it, get on the flight, and then I started getting better at flying. Then COVID happens, and all that fear kind of built back up. Nothing to do with I don't give a shit about the COVID on the plane. It's more about just I haven't been practicing. So Tita and I were like, we're going on this trip, and one of the things is going to be that this is going to help me get back over flying. So LA, we're flying out at 6 a.m. flight, which I love. I do it super early so I can sleep through the whole thing. I did not go to sleep the night before. I watched about 6 hours of like how to handle flying anxiety, which one of the things is which is crazy because this is what gets me is that I know that I'm not scared. It's not that like I know what it is. I know that it's not likely though. I know the plane is going to go down. They said it's 1 in 3 million or 1 in 11 million that you are going to die in a plane. So my brain understands that it's not going to happen, but my body doesn't listen to my brain. Like my brain is like, dude, you're not going to die, but my body is like, fuck that. I'm going to shake and sweat this whole time. I'm just like body, just listen to my brain. But my brain is doing math, but my body has just got that fucking shit in there, and it gets me crazy because people think, they think, but we constantly think that you're the driver, that your brain is in control, like you're conscious. The conscious being is the thing that is controlling your life, but it's like, no, you are working with this body that listens to barely nothing that you say, right? Like my brain knows how to talk to women and order eggs and curse at old women when they say weird shit, but my brain has no idea how to clot blood, but my body knows how to clot blood. If I cut my arm, my brain isn't like, dude, send down the hemoglobins and the cells. My body is like, dude, you chill, I got this. Like if I go out drinking, I could drink, I'll just keep drinking, having a good time. But then my body's like, fuck this, we're throwing this up. So you're in this constant like partnership with your body, and neither are really chatting with each other. We're not really kind of in sync. Yeah, you are. I guess you're in sync, but it's like, I don't know. This idea that you are one being is just not true. You are so many billions of. We are like our bodies are like the earth, and our cells are like humans, and the hair is like trees. Like we're this entire ecosystem. Holy shit! There is a guy outside my window. Rope. Holy shit! Look at this. Let's see if we could. I can't change it. There's a guy cleaning the windows, but he just went down. Fuck. But let me see if I could show it to you. This happened yesterday too. They must clean the windows every day. Can you see? You can't really see it, but see that rope? There's a man. He just swung down there. Ain't that some shit? It happened yesterday too. Literally, when I was standing around naked, I see a fucking man washing the windows. They should tell you when they're washing the windows. They can't just have the professional peeping toms. Fucking. Hang on. Anyway, I was on a rant about our bodies, but like we are in constant, like our entire bodies are ecosystems, if that makes sense. And you just look at like we're all, who the fuck knows? If you go in close enough on our bodies, I think that we're all different things. Anyway, I get on the plane, passed out for almost the whole trip, so it was pretty good. And I think I'm good now. I think I'm good on flying. We get to LA. I only had 2 shows booked. I had 2 at the Comedy Store, and I knew one was I was judging a roast battle. I'd reached out to, so I'll just tell you guys the whole story on how this whole LA trip even happened. Um, I was at the Comedy Cellar, and I'm talking to this lady Maureen, who's really sweet. She works for who the fuck knows? She's a real sweet lady. She's always been a big advocate of mine, which I think is really nice. And Liz from the Cellar, and this little guy, sweet man. We're all Liz calls me over in the morning. Like, you got to meet Greg. Greg's the best. So I start talking. I have no idea who this guy is. We're talking. Guy seems cool. I get into some story about LA comics, and then I tell him the story about this guy, Carl LeBove. Carl LeBove is a comedian who used to roll with Sam Kinison. You look him up. He was like super funny. And when I first started, I was a door guy at Rascals Comedy Club. I wanted to do comedy. You don't know how to do any of this shit when you first start. So I had to drive him to his hotel. And this guy would just kill. He would come into the clubs and just annihilate. And I had no idea who he was, and he was super funny. But everyone at the club loved him. He was like a real sweet guy. So I drive him to the hotel. I tell him I'm trying to do comedy, and he was like, "Yeah, you just do it." He was like, "You just do it." And he's like, "If you keep working," gave me this whole speech. Can't really remember. Anyway, a spider comes through our vent, and he freaks out. Turns out the guy didn't like spiders. I had to kill the spider while we were driving. He's like, throw it away. At the end of I drop him off at the hotel, and I go, "See you later, buddy." He goes, "Nah, man, see you at the top." He said to me, which was real nice that like he was, he took the time to kind of talk to me and make me feel better and want to do comedy. Anyway, he had died recently, so he's got this awesome story too. It's a crazy story. He had Sam Kinison's. So his wife gave birth. His kid. He found out like when this kid was 18, they did like a paternity test. And it was actually Sam Kinison's kid. Like Sam Kinison fucked his wife. He was like his best friend, and he pretty much raised this guy's kid. They found out it wasn't his, and then he still owed like them child support. Like it's this wild move about how he had to pay child support on a kid that wasn't even actually his, and he still was. It was a whole thing. You should listen to it anyway. Um, I digress. I digress. Are we recording? Please God, let me know we're recording. Yeah. Uh, so let me just see something real quick. 10:49. Okay. So I'd say. All right. So I'm telling this. I'm telling this story. So I'm telling that story about Carl LeBove to Liz, Maureen, and this guy. And he's like, "You ever come out to LA?" And I'm like, "Nah, I don't really fly, and I don't want to do the Comedy Store." He's asked me at the Comedy Store, but the Comedy Store has like this way of getting comedians where like you have to be like a door guy. A lot of times you have to be like a door guy first. You work yourself up through this system, and I'm not going to do that. Like I've been doing comedy 20 years. I'm not starting at the beginning. I'm not doing that shit again. So I'm not gonna. So I'll come into the Comedy Store from the top is my goal. Like I'm not. I can't tell him that. I'm like I'm not. I'm. I just can't put that kind of time in. I also can't be. No offense. Like I can't be a door guy when shitty comedians come in and then they act like they're better than you, and I just can't deal with that. And I think anybody who's doing that is awesome and it's cool because that seems to be the system in LA and it seems to be working. But I'm at the Cellar and I'm past the clubs, all the clubs in New York. I'm not moving to LA to be a door guy. I just can't fucking do that anymore. I can't. Anyway, you get it. Um. So this guy goes, all right. Well, if you come to LA, hit me up. And I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't know who you are, but he was very sweet. So then turns out, I go, yeah, what's your name? And he goes, Peter Shore. Turns out this is Pauly Shore's brother. They own the Comedy Store. So now I'm like, fuck, this might be an in for me. And I'm not going to drop the ball like I always do. I'm not going to fucking do the classic Greg move, which I did with Jim Lee, where Jim Lee was like, send me your script. And I said, it's not ready for 10 years. And I never sent Jim Lee Jim Lee, one of the owners currently of DC comic books, one of the greatest artists of all time, revolutionized X-Men, was it one of the started Image Comics. This guy said, "Send me something," and I just never did it. So I'm not doing that again. So I'm fucking hitting this guy up. So I bought a plane. I said, Tito, we're going to LA. I bought a plane ticket going to LA, and we'll figure it out. Anyway, I hit this guy up, and he goes, "Well, I don't really book it, so there's nothing I can do." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" But then he goes, "Hit up this other guy." He does give me the name of this guy, Brian Moses, and Brian Moses was like, "Dude, love to meet you. Why don't you come judge a roast battle?" And I was like, "I can do that." Now I'm like, I am going to LA to judge a fucking roast battle. This is gonna be a waste of a trip, but we're gonna do it, right? No return ticket yet. We just have a ticket to LA, nothing back. Tita then goes, "Fuck it, we'll go for your birthday. We'll go to LA, you'll do a week in LA, a little bit of work, we'll have a little bit of fun, then we'll drive to Vegas, and then we'll drive to the Grand Canyon." I always wanted to do that. And I'm like, okay, this is gonna be our little baby moon thing. And my birthday, we can do this. Plus I have an insane amount of points from flights that were canceled when COVID happened. So I had all these I had all these vouchers and shit. So we booked the flight. I come out, I land, and and then I hit up this lady who books the Comedy Store, and they sent me her email, and I was like, see if I can do a spot. I email her, she does not respond, and I went, fuck it, this ain't my club. I'm not going to be the kind guy who just sits and, oh, she didn't respond. I fucking hit her up again. I sent her 3 emails, nice emails, and I waited a significant amount of time. I sent one a month out, then 2 weeks, hey, just following up, and then a week before, I don't know, I want to say 3 days before my trip, I just sent the 30 emails hey, just wanted to see if it was possible to do some spots, blah, 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 blah. And then she writes back, she goes, I can probably get you on Saturday or Sunday. Send me an email on Monday. Monday is when I'm flying. So literally when I was in the plane, I was sending this email off to try to get a spot. Still no idea if I'm getting a spot until I land. I have one spot on Sunday. So the Monday hosting roast battle, I have a Sunday spot. And now it's in the belly room. So the way the belly room works is I think that's where they put their developing people. So it wasn't a real main room. They the main room is where the big dogs go. Listen, I'm a big dog, but I'm like, that's fine. Put the big dog with the puppy dogs, because the big dog's gonna let the puppy dogs know who the big dog is, right? Big dog's gonna look at the puppy dog and say, I'm gonna protect you. Just don't step out of line, right? Because you understand I'm the big dog, and I'll fucking bark. I mean, you'll bark too, you little barker, but my bark and I bite. Anyway, so we get to roast battle. I get there early. I go to the Comedy Store, and I don't know if you guys, fuck man, it's you doing comedy, and there's just always this feeling of inadequacy, right? I've been doing comedy 20 years. All I really got, in my opinion, are you guys, the listeners, the podcast followers, the Patreon subscribers, all of you guys, which I'm going to get into, by the way. I want to mention something about the Patreon that hit me. I was really stoned last night, and I was like, I wrote it down. I also took some notes. I'd like to refer to some notes on some of this. So I also hit up Adam Ferreira, and he was like, come do my podcast. And I hit up a couple friends about doing their podcasts, and I ended up not doing any of them because I was having such a good time with my wife, which is horrible. I did Adam Ferreira's podcast, and that was fun. That guy's the best. I also met a couple friends out there. Also switched apartments with someone. That was the move you do, man. My friend Grant stayed in Astoria. I stayed in his apartment with 2 cats who are maniacs. Very cute, but wake you up in the middle of the fucking night. And I don't trust it. A cat bit me at one point. I love him. I'm like, why the fuck are you biting me, dude? I don't trust these. I don't trust fucking cats. I love all animals, but I don't trust cats. It's I love you, but I don't trust you. He's like a fucking friend. He's honestly like a lot of my comedian friends who are, I'm like, man, I love you, but you might bite me. You might, and by bite means talk shit about me behind my back and or sell me out when Louis C.K. walks in the room. So anyway, I have to judge this roast battle. And here's the thing: I don't know if you guys know this about me. G-Man's not a roaster. I can, because I could write a joke, but I hate roasting. I think it's so fucking stupid. Roasting to me was something you do amongst friends. Shitting on your friends is the highest level of love. So it's the reason I hate roast battles is because they just pick 2 people and make them argue. This is stupid. You just insult each other. This is stupid. Roasting is the reason roasting is good because it's you know me so well that this is what I can get away with. That's what is good about roasting is because when someone talks about your fucking dad being a pedophile or some shit, it's like you're allowed to get away with that because that person knows you love them so well. It's the same thing with me and Anthony. It's like I can talk about his dead dad because that's how much we love each other that we're allowed to play with this highly explosive material. That's why roasting sucks because these people don't fucking know each other. So they just Google shit and they're like, oh, this guy only has half a penis because it blew off in Afghanistan. I'm gonna make fun of that. It's like, no, you don't get to make fun of that shit. That is, you don't know that guy that well. It's a very comfortable thing. So I don't really like roasting. But I got to judge this goddamn roast battle anyway. No one really gives me any information. I walk in, the roast battle is already going on. They'd already started. So I guess so. The way it works is it was being recorded by this Mint Comedy, where they do they live stream shit. So they had an undercard which was off air, and then they had the overcard was being on air. It was on. They were going to stream that, and I guess they only wanted us judging that. But I walk in, all the other judges are seated. I don't know any of these people. It was a nice female. I don't remember her name. Elon Gold, who I actually like. I know him from the cellar a little bit. We know of each other. We see each other. We would wave, not really on, what up, dog terms. And then Jeff Ross. And so I get into my chair. Also, sharing a microphone. I have to share a microphone with someone. They didn't put enough microphones. It's like, look, this is COVID. I get it. I should get my own goddamn microphone. Also, I don't want to hand back a microphone. It's so awkward. I go, then you go, I go. It's so fucking stupid. I sit down and Jeff Ross calls me George, has no idea who I am. No one. He just goes, hey, George. And I'm like, well, it's Greg Stone, but it's all good. We don't really know each other. He's so nice. He was like, sorry, no one really. And I was like, I know. And so we start the roast battle. And I do two jokes. First of all, I none of these people know who I am. I do two jokes that immediately fucking flop. I mean, I don't know what the riff was, but the crowd's looking at me. I look at Jeff and he's like, I got to do a show with this fucking guy. This is not good. What the fuck? And then everyone's like, oh, this is just some new comic that news. And then the guy says, I didn't book him. He was Peter Shore's friend. So even the guy who booked me throws me under the bus. And now I'm sitting here like, oh, this sucks. Now I have zero will with the crowd. Also, when my second joke bombed, there's a person on stage in a band. They played taps. It was like, dee, dee, dee. Like I was dead. I was like, fuck this. I was like, whatever. So I go, you know what? But here's the thing you gotta understand about me. I'm not going to let them win. I'm going to sound a little arrogant, but I know I'm funnier than everyone in that room. I know that's I don't know if it's like funny. It doesn't really matter, but I'm like, I know what I can do. Right. And I might have had two riffs that didn't go well, but there was no goodwill with the crowd. No one knows who I am. I'm not in my own club. I know no one here. No one knows my sense of humor. So I'm like, fuck that. I'm going balls to the wall. And I'm like, look, man, you guys can say this, whatever. It's like, you have no idea who I am. And I was like, I wish you could just let me do stand-up. Then you'd know that I'm a fucking killer, right? And then Jeff Ross goes, we got 5 minutes before this thing goes live. Go do 5. Now, I don't know if you guys know how, I don't know if you know, but stand-up, you never want to go up cold. Okay, this just going up because someone says go do stand-up, I'm going to sound arrogant here. I'm going to just tell you that like this is not a thing you want to do as a comedian. It is a very difficult, it's almost like Kobayashi Maru, if you will. This is an unwinnable situation just to go on stage apropos of nothing with zero preparation and then murder. That is a hard move to do if you're anybody but me. I'll be honest. Okay. I'm going to tell you right to your face. I went up there and I fucking did my first joke, raped their mouths with humor. They immediately explode. A crowd starts dying. Now I'm fucking, because I'm the goddamn G-man. People don't realize this. I'm a goddamn stone cold killer. And I'm sorry that I'm talking about myself, but I talk shit about myself enough that right now I'm going to be arrogant. I'm going to be confident. I'm going to tell you I fucking destroyed within 5 minutes. Just boom, just fucking hit them really hard. Walked off stage, crowd was screaming. Jeff goes, hell yeah, dog, that was amazing. Now every joke I did through after this landed. I win the fucking crowd back. I've never been so proud of myself in my life. Not even say proud, but it's like if you work hard at something, you know you can do it, right? It's like I know how good I am now. I'm not going to let myself get in my way. I'm not going to let myself hate myself or be in I know what I can do on stage. I goddamn follow Dave Attell at the Cellar constantly. Not a lot of people could do that. I could fucking do it. So suck my dick. I'll fucking beat this stupid LA fucking roast battle shit crowd over. Fuck these cock and dials. Anyway, get off stage, land all my jokes. I'm now walking around the store like I am a fucking like all that every room I kind of walked in, people were like, "Nah, Greg's cool. This guy's cool. That guy just judged the roast battle. He's killer. They're giving me free drinks. I am living high on the hog, feeling very happy for that night. End up going home, and I have like a week until I have my. Also, I gotta throw this out there, man. This guy, the reason, if you're a comedian, one of the things you got to do, and this might sound weird, but whenever I go to a comedy club, what I do is I make friends with the wait staff for several reasons. One, I love normal people. It's just easier to talk to normal people sometimes. There's no ego. They're, if they're weird, they're weird, but it's like you can get out of it. So and it's nice. I like to call them landing pads, right? It's nice to have a landing pad, someone that when you're feeling uncomfortable, you can go land and be around. And usually wait staff, they don't give a fuck. They've seen all the comedians, they don't really care, and you can just kind of be their friends. Anyway, there's this guy Taylor Boss. He was a door guy. Turns out he's a comedian, but I walk up to him and he was like, "You're the G man. You're the man. Love this guy." Like he didn't know who I was, but he was so nice. And every time I felt uncomfortable, he would be like, "Nah, man, you can do what you want. Here's where you get this." And he kind of took me under, made me feel really comfortable. So shout out to that fucking guy. He was him and his fiance's name was Rose. She was a bartender. She was hooking it up with the drinks. So I had this nice landing pad, which was that guy. So I wanted to shoot out that guy. But yeah. So then what else happened? Oh, I had to go do. We're gonna get back to the Comedy Store and how that worked out. But I wanted to. Um, the fucking L.A. man, the homeless situation is crazy. That was another thing that I saw. It's like there's tents. They have like these tents, and I'm not a big LA guy. I don't know too much about it, but the streets were like lined in tents of people of homeless people. I guess that lost their apartments during COVID or lost their jobs, and then there's just like a million RVs parked back to each other where people are living in these. Which I've always kind of been like, yeah, if you should. Why can't people just live in an RV on the street? And then you see it, you go, oh, this is why. This is this is gross for some reason. I don't know. It's like you got to put these things somewhere, and by things I mean the people. Not, oh man, this window washer guy's coming up again. I should just jerk off for him. That's at least a story for him. If he just sees me jerking off, it's like he's looking at you looking at my room. That's me. You don't get to, that's on you. That's not on me. So I'll give him a little masturbation show if he comes in. So yeah, I see these like homeless people, and then I see Evan Williams, which you guys might know, great comedian, funny guy, does a lot of impressions. We go for a walk in like the hills where these insanely rich houses are, and like we're looking through people's windows, and it's like these are like, I don't know. One guy had a statue of a horse on his balcony, like it was a real life size horse. He just come out like a general, and he would stand next to this horse. I guess he would do that. These people are just filthy fucking rich. Just not even Mercedes. It's like Rolls Royces, Lamborghinis, like crazy things. And then just like 500 feet down the hill, you just have these tents that people are sleeping in. It really makes you mad about the fucking rich. It's like, man, guys, you can fix this. I don't, I get it. Like I'm all for capitalism, but what are you doing, man? Walk down that, sell the Rolls Royce, and do something with that money to help those people. I don't know. I'm not rich enough. I try to help when I can. So, I can more help through conversation and talking to people than I can money. I don't have enough, although I'm living in this hotel room that I'm in right now. You'd think I'm a billionaire, but the money difference it's so jarring when you see that level of rich legitimately stone throw away from people who just lost everything in a tent, and it's like, I don't know. It's just really jarring to see it that way. At least in New York, we hide our rich. In New York, they're on the top of they're at the top of the Chrysler Building or the Empire State Building. They're just hiding, and they helicopter out. You don't really see these cars. We go to I was on Rodeo Drive. that was wild, man. I go to Rodeo Drive with Tita, and we walk into this. It was a Porsche store, not I guess the car, but they also sell clothes. I guess they have like leather jackets and sunglasses. We talked to this guy who works at the Porsche store. I thought he was gonna throw me out. He's like, you are too poor for us. Get out of this store. I was expecting that, but I walk over, go hello, and he was like, a New Yorker. I love a New Yorker. Oh my God, I was just in Queens the other day. It was a beautiful city. Oh, the COVID had made the changes. So many changes. And I was like, yeah, man, total changes. How did you guys have it here? And he goes, oh, it wasn't no good. It was sometimes good, but not always good. Like, I don't know. We're going on and off having a fucking. Me and Tita are just talking to this guy. This guy doesn't realize. He doesn't realize that he's talking to someone who will talk to him for 1 hour. And I think we did. I think we probably talked for like an hour and a half, just talking to this French guy at the Porsche store. Then just a complete different idea of what I thought Rodeo Drive would be. I thought I would walk into these stores and they would go, I thought it was going to be like a real like, get out, filth, get out, go back to your Walmart, go back to your Gap stores. Everybody was nice. They had really expensive I think now because there's so many streamers and poor people getting rich that they have to be like, we don't know who this motherfucker is. If he's in here, you got to treat him like he's rich. It's no longer the 1950s where if you're rich, you walk around in a suit every day, all the time. There's just a lot of just rappers and scumbags with money now that they gotta be nice to. Anyway, my Porsche man was so cool. We go into Banana Republic, at the mall. I want to say 3 miles away. We always go to Banana Republic because my wife used to work there. Tita used to work at the Banana Republic, and so every now and again she likes to just walk in and see how they're doing. She likes to check in, make sure they're holding up to standard. She'll just kind of go in and be like, "Oh, look, they're these are not folded right," or she'll like judge. I don't know. Maybe she needs to take a shift or something. I don't know. But she always wants to check how her old store is doing, the B rep. So we go in, and the Porsche store, $9 billion sunglasses on Rodeo Drive, couldn't be nicer. Banana Republic, these fucking cocksuckers think who they are. I'm not kidding. I walk in, and the fucking lady is like, can I help you? Like, in that way of like, can you leave? You're 40. Get out of here. Anyway, I'm trying to talk to. I want to get this exactly right how this goes down, because this is what you should know about me, which you probably already know, is that I talk to everyone, and people are like, you always have great stories. Yeah, I have great stories because when you're putting yourself out there constantly, things go foul. Okay. You're going to either end up screaming at somebody, you're going to end up with an argument, you're going to have a good experience, you're going to have a bad experience, but you're going to get an experience. And that's what I live, because I'm constantly whatever. So I'm like, all right, lady, right? So I can't remember exactly how it happened, but there was this black woman who was like a wild 10, just a super hot woman, which, by the way, when I say hot, I would not fuck her. I do not. You get to an age where I don't fuck hot people. I don't fuck anybody. I'm married, but I don't even want to fuck hot people. When you hit, I want to say like 35, you see hot and you see what comes with hot, right? When I see a woman who is like smoking hot, it's not attractive to me anymore, because I know the pain that comes with having to talk to her, having to wake up next to her, having to watch my jokes bomb, have her hear her say things like, oh my God, there should be places called Excellent, or whatever the fuck, like you got to hear this dumb conversation bullshit. So just having no idea of what life is. And so you see hot and you see it in their face and you go, I don't want that. That doesn't even make me hard anymore. I like a sweet woman with a fucked up, you could, with the smile that is ingrained on her face. She's been smiling so much in her life that her face is creased in that way. That's hot to me, because you can see it's a happy look to these people, bright eyes, that kind of shit, fat ass, nice tits. That don't go away. That's always there. A fat ass and nice tits, that is always going to help me out. Anyway, this beautiful black woman is talking to that other woman, and I go, excuse, I held the door. She held the door for me. I said thank you, and then I returned the favor with the second door, and I went, and for you? And she was like, yeah. Like she said, yeah. And I went, man, that was rude, right? And then cut to, we're walking. She now tries to interrupt me while I'm talking to this rude salesperson, and she I don't know. I was like, excuse me, I'm talking. And the woman says, I doubt you. I kid you not. Someone in LA looks at me. This is this woman. And she goes, I'll buy you. That is what she said. I'll buy you to me. And I said, I'm sorry. I don't think purchasing of another human being is a thing anyone should be doing. Which, come on, this is like a pot black woman. You're saying I'll buy you? You can't throw that shit at me. And she goes, I can say it because y'all white motherfuckers. She didn't say. I made that part up. She said because white people own black people. Like that's kind of what she said. I don't remember exact words, but she was like, I can say it because I'm black and white people own black people. And I said to her, I mean, yes, sure, white people own black people, but more importantly, the people who owned other people were people who said, I'll buy you. Okay. Are sure white people did own black people, but it was really the mentality of someone who said, I will buy you. That is the worst person. So if we were to go back in time, you would not be the black slave. You would be the person who thinks they should own another human being. Whereas I would be the time traveling Superman. I'm some kind of hero. I would always be a hero. You know, I'm going to be the guy who fights everything. So I don't, the whole idea of like, you know, that like if we went back in time, I would be a slave. It's like, no, you wouldn't. If you, first of all, you can't go back in time. And if you would go back in time, how do you even know you'd still be black? If we went back in time, you could be a tree. You could be a turtle. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know that random dice that you're going to be. I guess if you got in a time machine and you walk back out as yourself, people would try to make you a slave. But they probably wouldn't. They would go, what the fuck is that thing you just came out of? And they would go a time traveling machine. And then they would go, you're God now. And you'd go, yeah. So if you went back in time, you would not be a slave. You would be God. So that's how that goes. Anyway, yeah. So fuck that lady. And I wasn't sure if that was like a shitty thing I said to her, but I really, it's like, I don't know, man, you shouldn't walk around saying you're going to buy people and then try to whatever. Anyway, uh, it's just crazy also that the Porsche store, the guy is nice, but fucking Banana Republic, they think they're, it's like you're a Target, okay? You're slightly better than the Gap. Get the fuck out of here, both of you people. The one who worked there and the fucking girl. Um, there's so much to tell you. I don't. I hope this is. I don't know how it's going. Just doing it alone is so weird. I have no one to riff off of, but I don't know. We're just kind of doing it. We also. So I'll tell you my. So I go to the Comedy Store again, right? So to do my spot. Now this was a kind of cool thing, right? So I always had this fantasy of being like a fat guy who could do a backflip, right? I always thought it'd be fun to be like, hey man, bet you can't think I could do a backflip, right? And then people go, no way, that guy do a backflip. Then you do a backflip, and they go, how'd that fat guy do a backflip? Or like have like an amazing skill that no, I love when you see someone who has an amazing skill that you would not see. A lot of times you see him with dads. You'll see like a 50-year-old dad, and then he walks in the backyard and he just hits 60 jump shots out of nowhere. And you're like, oh yeah, he was a college basketball NAACP player for, you know, is it NWACP? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he's in the NWACP for the Grand Four. The Grand Four. He made it to the Grand Four and didn't win, and were blue in the NBA. NACA, NAAC. Maybe it's NACA. I don't know what it is. I love that. I love a guy with a secret talent. But that was what was kind of cool. So I'm at the Comedy Store, and no one knows who I am, and you could see people are like trying to big time me. Like there was this fat fucking guy. I can't remember his name. He was a comedian who wore a blazer. Let me say this, man. You're wearing a blazer. I already know what you are. Okay. Like I know I'm better than you. Not I'm better than you as a person. You know, we're all mass, okay, doing a lot of things, but I know what I can do on stage. Most majority of the crowd will go, I like him better than I like the blazer man. So I'm standing at the Comedy Store, and they have a wall behind you. They're all autographs. Also, shout out to Stutman. I remember that guy. This guy, a Rad Dudecast fan, somehow found out that I was in LA. I probably posted it, and then somehow got tickets to the show, which was sold out. So I don't know how he did that. I also didn't want to tell anybody that I was doing this spot because it's my first one there. Could be kind of like an audition. Who knows? Anyway, so I'm standing against the wall that has all the names signed on it, and this guy keeps making jokes like, "You're covering my name. Why don't you move?" Because I'm like, I'm not doing the big time jokes, right? The jokes where you kind of big time me because you're the LA comic. It's like I don't give a fuck. I'm funnier than you. I'm a nicer person than you. I the ego shit doesn't really register. Like I already do the ego shit at the cellar. I'm not doing that here, and I'm getting better at it, especially after COVID. Like I'm not gonna let some fucking guy big time me. So I wasn't a dick. I didn't fire back and go, you're probably gonna have heart disease soon because you're not doing well. That's why I'm not doing roasts, because my roast jokes are always they're always like, I'll see you in I'll see you in what's it called? Fuck, I fucked that up. Let's just reset that. I'll see you in critical care when you have heart disease. Those are my comebacks. That's why I'm not really good at them. It's like, oh, your son doesn't call you anymore. Look at you. That's why. Those are my roasts. It's like, how's your relationship with your mom? That's exactly what I thought. Not well, right? So anyway, I'm not shooting back at this guy. I'm just like, okay, buddy, whatever. And then my man Taylor comes by, my door guy, and he just goes, that motherfucker just killed the roast battle. And then that guy tried to like be cool to me now. I'm like, oh, so you'll be cool to me now that you know I'm a comedian from New York. He was like, oh, he's a seller guy, whatever. Now he's trying to be cool to me. And I'm like, no, what? You wouldn't have been cool to me if I was just a normal person? Like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, fuck you. No, be cool to normal people. Comedians think they're better than other people sometimes, and it's like you're not. You're a clown. Not that we're clowns, but like we are funny. But there are people that have so many other skills that are value is such a silly thing to place on anyone. We are all. I say we're all equal. There is no value because we're all going to die. You know what I mean? All you really can do is just try to be nice to each other. And try to. What the way I look at life is that we're all factories, and you can make you're a happy factory, you're a shitty factory, right? What output, what are you making? And I try and I want to be a factory that puts happiness out into the world, right? That's what I can do. So when I'm feeling shitty, I try not to put the shittiness out there. I try not to be mean to people because that really is a product. If you put shitty, if you sit next to me and I'm rude to you, I have now changed you as a person. Like you're now feeling sad. So my factory has poisoned your factory or you as a person. And then you take that and you kick your dog, right? That that energy is spreadable. It's like a bad energy is viral. It ruins your day. It fucks people away. So if you can be a factory that's just putting out happiness constantly to the people around you, you are legitimately changing the world. You're changing the world on a at least a Kevin Bacon 10-person level. So when this guy's out here trying to be shitty, it's like fuck. I don't know where I was going with this factory thing, but I don't know. You guys probably don't know this, but comedians sometimes will just they think they're like, I can't talk to normal people, and that's so silly. Normal people are the fucking best. We're all just human beings who can do different things. So they don't do comedy, right? Well, what else do you do that they do? Do they go to Dunkin' Donuts? Right. So we're the same. We're same on 99% of the other things, except they're not going to try to uh, write everything they say down in the middle of a sentence because they think it's funny. I don't. I do see a lot of. I get a lot of. I talk to a lot of normal people who are very annoying and obnoxious, of course, but I also met so many great people through comedy that are just. Also, do you see this? I know this is just a video thing, but behind me, it's this piece of art that when the light shines on it, you see like the markings of like a sexy lady. Everything in fucking Vegas is sexy, right? It's a sexy lady thing. Right. So I don't know what I was talking about. So I'm at the store and I'm this guy who no one knows. So I'm just kind of standing there, and I met these two other comedians. I was this girl's Laura. I want to look her name up, and this kid Benton, which I thought was funny. His name was Benton, and he was a real sweet gay guy. I say that for this. When he said Benton, I was like, what kind of name is that? I'm wondering what his nationality was, and he was like, nah, just like a rich white guy name. It's kind of funny that like because I thought Benton, I thought that sounded foreign. It's like so funny that rich people, you can get so rich that your name sounds foreign. You know, like Mike Joe. These are standard names. Whatever. Benton might as well be like Gundabala or I don't know that riff. It's weird to riff alone because I don't laugh at me. Anyway, yes, let's get Benton. He was a very sweet guy, and I kind of like him and Laura. I want to say Laura. I don't remember her fucking name. Let me I should look it up so I don't say it right because I like the people who are really nice. I like to at least get their names right. Stutman, that guy. Stutman came to see me. That guy's a very nice guy. I'll look it up. There's also like I don't have to continually be talking. You'll understand that if there's a little bit of silence, it's just because Eric Stutman, that was the guy who drove him and his wife, or fiance maybe, girlfriend. She was a lawyer. They were both very sweet and easy to talk to. Laura Peak was the girl. And Benton. Anyway, I would just hang in with those guys because they were doing the Belly Room show. So I guess they're like up and coming comedians, but up and coming even there, it's like they're still doing it like 5 years, 6 years. They were both very funny. But they put me on last at the Belly Room. And it's just, I'm sitting there and people are just kind of like big timing. Like no one's trying to give you the time of day because you're on the Belly Room show or whatever. And I'm just like, I'm feeling that heat. You get this uncomfortable heat. Your body starts to like heat up because you feel like you don't belong. Like I don't fucking belong here. I texted Louis Katz, whom I know a lot of you hate because of our car debacle on the last Patreon, but Louis the best. I messaged Louis. I'm like, God, geez, I'm kind of melting down. And he sends me a text that says, I know it doesn't feel like it, but you deserve you belong there. Like you belong here. And I was like, I kind of want to get a tattoo that says that, like a picture of Earth, and it just says, I know it doesn't feel like I do, but I belong here, or you belong here. And him just saying that, because Louis has always been like a huge advocate of mine. He's always just like, nah, man, you're fucking funny. Fuck off. Fuck these people. He's like, you belong there, And so I'm trying to like manage that this like self-hatred because you don't really know people. So you just feel like everyone hates you and you feel like you don't belong here and I should just leave. And it's like, no, I'm feeling weird because no one's coming up to that I'm not, because I don't feel comfortable talking to other people. But I'm going to let them come to me. You know what I mean? Like I'll be open, I'll be nice, I'll talk to my door guys, I'll talk to these two comics, but I belong here and I have value. I don't understand why that comes to my mind of like the value thing, but it's like, yeah, like stop acting like you're lesser than these people. Like not just because the fact that I'm a comedian, but it's the fact that I'm a human being who's a good factory. I'm trying to put out more love into the world than hate and anger. And so if a comedian is like, I have a podcast with 1 million followers. It's like, yeah, man, I make I make people feel happy when I talk to them. You know what I mean? I'm not yelling at people all the time. I give a guy in a Subway Starbucks card. So what are we doing here? What is you think you're? It's like these hot chicks. I'm in Vegas now. It's like these hot chicks in Vegas who they're like, don't look at me, I'm hot. And it's like, oh, you think being hot is the thing that gives you value? That is a wild thing to think about who you are. That is not the thing that gives you value. First of all, none of us have any value. The value, this is how I value a life. The value of your life is based on how many people would miss you if you died. And I say that only because if you die, you don't miss you. You do not care if you die. If you die, you're just dead. There's no caring. So if you die and people miss you, then you can say you have value, right? Not value, but then, there's a void if you're gone. Now, that's not good or bad. If you're sitting and listening to this podcast, go, Jesus Christ, no one would care if I died. Well, that doesn't matter either, right? Because then no one cares, and it doesn't matter to you. Legacy is nothing, right? So there's no real value on life. So that's why I'm like abortion. It's like, well, if you should abort babies, because if no one's going to care if they're gone, then who cares? No one. So there's your answer, right? But if someone will care that the baby is gone, and don't say this bullshit like this, oh, I'm a Christian man who cares about every baby. You don't know the baby. If you don't know the baby, then you don't care, right? I do have a weird issue, though. This is a weird thing to get into, but if you're a woman and you want to have an abortion and the father is in the picture and he's like, I want to raise the kid and you can have nothing to do with it, that is something that I think should be looked into as far as like, all right, it's a shitty 9 months and it's going to do some damage to your body, That's fucked. That's bad. But you only got to deal with it for 9 months, and whatever you know, your sloppy pussy after for the rest of your life. Um, so I think then that life does matter if someone is like, no, I want it, right? Like if you have a steak on a plate and you throw it away, and there's someone at your table who's hungry, it's fucked up to do. But well, I paid for it. It's mine. I can do what I want. Yeah, but it's still shitty that the guy sitting there isn't eating, right? And by guy, you know, so it's like we can't as men have children. I wish we could. I wish we could have children. I would, oh, just to be a martyr. Oh, I would love to just be like, honey, I'll do this, and then just get up and fucking be fat. I'm fat already. I'm already look like I'm pregnant. But that pain, just to be like, I did this for us. I did this for us. It's, oh, how sweet that feels. And women, they try to pretend like they don't love it. They love saying, I gave birth, I went through this pain for you. Martyr shit. Trust me, I'm a martyr. I live for it. I would love to do it. Anyway, so that whole thing with like life is a value. Because inherently nothing has value. We create value. It's kind of like an action figure, right? If someone wants it, we can put a value on it. So that's the value of any kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying except that I was in the Comedy Store and I felt very uncomfortable. And then I was like, I'm going to try to switch and try to make myself feel more comfortable, because I kept being like, yeah, I'm going to let my work speak for myself. When I get on stage, I'm going to fucking crush because I know what I can do. Um, so anyway, everybody on the show, it's like a 10-person comedy show. I'm last. I am a little nervous. I'll be honest. I was a little nervous at first, which was I had a little. I don't know if it was nerves or just like excitement, hoping it goes well. The booker is watching, but I kind of want to be like, look, you guys don't get it. I'm going to be, but I also know, I know I'll be good. I'm also, the crowd is hot, and I don't usually like hot crowds because all you can do with a hot crowd is lose them. But you give me a bad crowd, I'll turn them. Like I'll turn a bad crowd, or I won't, and no one else did, so I don't really care. You know what I mean? So I love all I can do with a hot crowd is lose. So I'm getting in my head a little bit. Anyway, they call me up. They put a microphone in my end. What do you think happens? Destroyed, of course, always do. I had to play some of the hits. Eric will attest to that. I had to do some of the bits from the album, but I did a Adam Ferreira's podcast, and I was like, I'm going to do my set, and he goes, do the best shit you have and just kill. They don't know your act. Just kill. Doesn't nothing matter. Just fucking go and kill and fuck these people. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just kill. I'm gonna do the material I like the most, even if it's old. And I'm gonna anyway. I fucking kill. Um, and the booker is like, she doesn't technically. She just goes, hey, anytime you come to LA, hit me up because I could have watched you for 40 minutes, which was like huge. That was like really cool that the booker of the Comedy Store kind of like loved what I did. Um, so now if I'm going to come back, I'm going to try to just keep coming back and try to keep working this club and see if I could build something out here just to try to make a name for myself. Because all I really want is just to be able to do this for more people, you know, and I would like money. Money is what keeps me going. Money is the fuel. Like if I'm a car, money is the thing that keeps the car going. And that's what I kind of like. That's kind of how I want to tell you guys about the Patreon, which isn't an ad. It's going to sound like an ad, but it really is kind of how I want you to truly understand what the Patreon is for me. The Patreon is, I'm not selling you anything, okay? If there's some tiers that I will put content out for people who donate to those tiers, right? But to me, that is a thank you. That is not a sale. I am not trying to sell you this awesome material. That is me saying, hey, look, there's not a lot I can do, but your money, your donations keep me in this business. It keeps, what you are doing is you are buying into a stock, okay? You are buying crypto coin, but what you are getting in return is not, it's not money, okay? You're not going to get money back. But what you are going to get is more art from me in the future. And I don't mean just directly the Patreon. I mean, when you guys donate to the Patreon, that literally keeps me in this business. It keeps me doing comedy. So if you believe in this, if you believe in me, donate to the Patreon, because that is what allows me to continue to do this. And like I know that that sounds like, also it should just be said, if you are broke, do not donate. I I want anyone who is having a hard time with money to get through that. I've done that. I'm always broke. I'm actually doing okay now. I'm living like an adult. I'm living a life that a 40-year-old man should be living. You know, it's like I can pay for dinner when I need to buy dinner, you know, which was not the case for a very long time in my life. A very long time in my life, it was when the rent is coming, it's 3 days away. I do not, I have 50% of it. I have no idea how I'm going to pay it. But now I can pay I can pay rent. I have some money that I can pay rent, and um I can buy food when I need to buy food, and I buy some action figures, and I can sell some action figures, and I can buy people birthday presents when it's their birthday. Like that's really an awesome place to be in. You know, like Tita and I can just go to dinner. It's fucking great. Um, but I get back to this Patreon idea of like why I thank everyone who donates is because it is I don't want you to think of it as like you're just buying these episodes and this weird shit. I want you to understand that what you're doing is you're investing in me as a human being. You're investing not as a human being, like you're investing in, you believe that I can bring good comedy to this world, and or whatever it is I'm putting, you know? And with every person, it's like if you want to support local business, you go, yeah, but like, all right, buy an egg and cheese sandwich. How much is this really changing? It's like when you donate to the Patreon, I see your $5. I see it. It's you're directly handing it to me, and then I take it and I put it into rent, or I put it into a new HDMI wire. Like it literally is a stock that the more you guys donate, the more this company will rise. And instead of you getting millions of dollars back, what you get, hopefully, is my art. And I say my art, but things that I can give to the world, which I really think I could do good. I think that I can make people. I think if this factory gets enough funding, we can put a lot of happiness out there. It's so fucking corny, but there is also, look, and I know a lot of you guys are fans of a lot of these podcasts, but a lot of these podcasts are very angry, and because they know anger sells. And it's funny, you know, sometimes it's funny, but a lot of these guys who are angry, they're not even, well, they're angry for other reasons, but it's just bullshit because they know the hot takes sell, and I don't sell the hot takes, so it's a little bit different for me, I guess. You know, I could easily just have, I can name the guy at the comedy store who was a piece of shit and make that clip and get a billion, well, maybe probably get a couple more likes than usual. Um, but anyway, I guess what I was trying to say is thank you for investing in me, because that is what you're doing when you donate to the Patreon. You're investing in a company that you like, that isn't, you know, that don't have children making shit, and you might not get the money back, but what you will get is me continuing to be in this business and create, um, and have the freedom to create things. And I know not everyone's a creator. You know, I'm a fan. What was fun is I went to this magic show. My friend got us a ticket to this thing called Absinthe, some kind of magic show in Vegas here, and I got to sit and watch these people do this insane shit, like this people with this insane abs, like climbing ropes and doing flips and, you know, all types of circus delay type shit. They had a host who was this guy who just did like shitty, like he put someone, hey, look at this fat fuck in the beginning. Hey, fat fuck, what are you gonna do? It was like just the worst kind of crowd work I'd ever seen. With no joke. That's the thing. This is what gets me about comedy. And this is, I know it. I know, look, I don't want to insult a lot of your people. I know a lot of you guys like some of these people, but some of these people are dirty for dirty's sake. And I don't love that in comedy. I am dirty and I love dirty and I love shocking people. But what I love more is having an angle, having a take on that shit, right? Like if you want to talk about pedophiles, talk about pedophiles. You know, for me, an angle in you know, has always been, you know, I used to tell this story about a pedophile who never did anything. Is that truly a bad guy? That's a angle. That's trying to find a loophole in the world and do jokes through it. But then if looking at a guy and going, here's a pedophile, motherfucker, it's like, yeah, anyone can do that. And we shouldn't look to our comedians with stuff that we can do. What I look for in a comedian is someone who is going to think of something that I couldn't think of or kind of thought of, but couldn't, make the words. You know what I mean? Like someone who, with all the, especially with like political shit, if you can find the loopholes in the world and then exploit them and make them funny, that to me is good comedy, not just crossing the border. So to me, comedy is you want to go past the border, you want to go past the line, right? But if you, I don't like people who just smash through the wall, right? They just scream the N word, and you go, yeah, you went over the line, but what the fuck? What are you doing? I like people who go over the line secretly, right? You don't know they're over the line. They sneak past the bushes. Next thing you know it, they're in enemy territory, and you're comfortable and you're safe, and you're, it's fucking funny because you never thought of something that way. You know what I mean? And that is much harder to do than just putting your sword in the air and fucking screaming the N word across the Mexican border. You know what I mean? Like, and I said, like, look, it's for some people, they enjoy it, but I I there is an on the Rad Dude cast, I've done that so many fucking times. Like I'm saying this, but also on the Rad Dude cast, how many times have I done it? But I always thought that when I went over the line for shock stuff, the reason it was funny is because I'm not a bad person. I've gained your trust enough for you to know that if I'm bringing up a racial slur or something weird, you go, I can't believe he said that because that's not his character. That's the juxtaposition. But then you see these guys who you go, oh, that is your character, and you're just saying you're just saying that shit. Like that's like it's different for me. That's what kind of gets me with some of that shit. I don't know where I'm going. This is what happens when you just hit record into a microphone and go for God knows how long we've been going. But yeah, I don't know. So I do my set at the Comedy Store. I fucking destroy. It was awesome, dude. I fucking closed out the show. They love me. They told me to come back. I had some things I wanted to talk about. Oh my god, that I didn't get to any of the things I really wanted to hit, which is annoying. Um, yeah, I like the idea of. Yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe I did. I don't know. I did go to this one guy. I did a podcast. I did a podcast for a friend, which was cool, and he's rich. I didn't know. You forget that some people are rich, and I will say he wasn't rich, because I saw what Rich was in LA, and he was wealthy, doing better than me, did a lot of things that are good. This guy's getting probably good residual checks. He's doing well. Anyway, we record a podcast. Um, I'm walking towards the door, and I hear this like type holy music. I turn around, and there is a nun in his house, and I was like, "Whoa, what is that?" Right? And he was just like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I got a couple nuns living here. It's hard to be a nun. They don't make a lot of money, so I just have them living here, and yeah, no big deal." And he walks out, and I went. I turned around. I thought she was a ghost. I thought this was a dead woman. I thought the music. Nun was listening to nun music, which I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. I didn't know they did that. I didn't know they listened to like church music on their own. I thought they just did church music in church. No, I guess this woman loves like holy music at home. And I thought she was like a dead woman haunting the house. And then he was like, nah, no big deal. And he just kind of like, we just kind of walked out. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's some shit, right? This guy I am an atheist. And that has nothing I thought he was going to hate me because I'm an atheist. But like, yeah, but it's not about you being religious. You can be religious. I don't really care. But you are also housing a human being in your home who and helping people. Like that is amazing. That is an amazing thing that this guy is doing. He's just got nuns living in his house, giving back. It's wild. And no credit. No one's giving this guy credit for it. I'm not even gonna say who it was. I'm not giving him credit for it. I don't know if he's got it out there. I don't know if this is a thing that people know about him. So I don't want to blow up his spot. But it was like wild. It was just like this guy's just letting nuns. Who has nuns? Unless it was his mom. I don't think it was. He didn't look like a superhero. Daredevil had a nun who was a mom. I think that's about it. But anyway, um, yeah. So I guess I'll be going back to LA. But it was a kind of cool experience to be able to do some shows. And now we drove to Vegas, and I'm here, and there's all these hot women walking around who are kind of half naked, and my pregnant wife who looks beautiful, and I still want to fuck these other people, but I don't, because that's the thing. I love my wife, and she's beautiful, but you still want to have sex with everybody. It just doesn't ever go away. It's the constant battle of not cheating. It's a little bit easier for me because I'm fat, which is nice. I got this mustache. The uglier things I add to my body, it really helps with the not cheating. I think they say that about fat people. They'll be like they get fat because they physically don't want people to get close. I do think I gained a lot of weight and got less attractive because I don't want to cheat on people, and it's easier to not cheat when you are a little bit weird looking. And yeah, this thing, I would like to get rid of this part of my neck. Ugh, that's about it. I think that's going to do it for me here. You guys, thank you for listening. I hope this wasn't weird. I hope it was interesting throughout. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. I will answer them. It seemed a little all over the place, and I think this is just my first time doing it alone, really. So I hope it was interesting, and I think maybe I'll try to get better at it. Try to maybe, uh, you know, well, we had some hits. We had some. Oh, we drove to this place called Eddie World. That was wild. There's a road stop called Eddie World, halfway from. It's like the last stop from before you have like the no gas stations into the desert. And so what they do at Eddie World is they just have Reese's peanut butter cups that they took out of the like individual ones took out of the bag and then put them in their own clear plastic bag and charge you $9 because they know there's no rest stops for like 60 miles. So or even probably even longer. Who the hell knows? So they just charge you an exorbitant amount of money for fucking uh, candy that you can't get for a while. Also, Eddie World. It's not called Eddie's World. It's not Eddie's World. Hey, I'm Eddie. This is my world. It's Eddie World, as if when you go there, everyone there is Eddie. Every name tag is Eddie. Hey, Eddie. All Eddies. Eddie World. It's a world of Eddie. Very fucking weird. They really should get an apostrophe because it doesn't make any sense. Um, oh yeah, you guys also. My wife got this banging ass hotel. What a sweetheart. My wife, who's so poor, not poor. We're not poor. We're fine. We're normal human beings now, but she's so cheap that she booked this hotel and we walk in. It's huge. I have a living room and this giant veranda, and there's a hot tub in our bathroom. I got real stoned last night. I took a hot tub bath. It was fucking amazing. I feel weird. I feel weird when I have nice things because I'm so used to being poor, like dirt poor, that I feel like a piece of shit for having any of this. Like we're flying back first class. This is wild. I had so many points from when COVID stopped that to upgrade to first class was we paid nothing for the plane tickets, and if we wanted to upgrade, it was like $200 or $300. So we said, "Fuck it, let's fucking pay and fly back first class." But I don't know how I'm going to feel when I'm on first class. People are walking by. I'm going to be like, "I'm like you. I'm like you. I'm undercover. I'm infiltrating the first class people." That's how I'll feel. It's very weird. I don't know how I would raise a rich kid. I think about that a lot. Like, how do you raise a rich kid? I only know how to raise someone through, to have a good heart through shit. It's like you will see the horrors of life, and that's why you will be good to other people because you know what it's like. I think the goal is to have a kid, and then I will. What I would like to do is volunteer once a week. If I'm also saying raise a kid rich because I know I'm going to be rich. Like I'm not rich. I will be rich, and this kid will be rich too. When I'm rich, because it's going to happen, I want to volunteer once a week. So this kid, look, I want to say to him like, you did not have to put the time into getting rich. So you should give your time to someone who isn't, because all life is time, right? It's like when you work for something, you get money. You're giving up your time, a part of your life, in essence, to money for doing things. So like, you didn't have to give a lot of time to get money. You were born with money. So you should give some of your time to people who are going to have to work harder to get further in life, just comfortable wise. Like, because really all money is about is, for me, all money is about is just trying to be comfortable and try to have less problems in life, because money can solve a lot of problems. Money cannot make you happy. This podcast can make you happy. That is about it. So please donate to the Patreon. Um, so that's another thing too. Sorry, I have a couple more things I just want to say, but I think I was thinking about a lot. Like, nothing makes you happy, but the only thing you need, there's like this little, like, it's like a little, I want to say a filter in the pipes. And that filter is a thing that allows you to create happiness. And that's the only thing in your life that you need to work on is the thing that allows you to create happiness in your own life, right? Because money, if you don't have that thing, money, girls, pussy, drugs, none of that shit will make you happy. So the only thing you need to work on in your life is that filter. And sometimes that's through therapy, sometimes it's through meditation. I don't know how it is. For me, it's what makes me happy is making people laugh. That's like my quick fix. That like I like making people laugh, and that allows me to be happy. So you have to just I don't know if that's I don't even think that's true because I know so many people who make people laugh and they're miserable. I don't know what it is. I don't know how I just know that I do have the ability to be happy, and you put it like they say like who was it Mundenson? That wasn't his name. Mundenson, the guy in Africa who was in jail, and he was like, yeah, there's like monks who live in solitude and they're in nirvana. They have this happiness because they have that ability to turn whatever they are in into happiness, right? That's why rich people are happy, but poor people are also happy, right? All these people, it's like you just got to work on that thing. I don't know what I'm talking about here. Um, I don't know what I'm talking about, but uh, oh boy, let me ask. I just got. Would you be available to want to host for Louis C.K. and Nyack those nights, July 5th to July 8th? Sure. I just got that email. So I'll probably be hosting for Louis C.K. at Levity Live in Nyack on July 5th and 8th. I just got that email. I didn't confirm yet, but we'll confirm it. Let me just confirm it. July 5th. Let me see if I could. Yeah, just live a little bit of my life for a second where you see if 5th is a Monday and the 8th is a Thursday and nothing in between. So I'll say yes. That's cool. That just happened in real time. We'll see if Louis has the ability to be happy. Yes, would love to. Thank you, Greg. Sorry, guys. I don't. Mike's not here, so I'm not gonna be able to edit that out. But yeah, that's it. So, guys, work on your factories. Make sure that you're putting out happiness into that world. I know sometimes you got to suck it up, and life is scary, and you feel like nothing's going to happen, but nothing does happen because we all die, and so just try to enjoy this ride for what it is. And I think if you try to put other people's feelings first, and sometimes that becomes with being vulnerable and putting yourself out there and being okay when they shit on you, right? Because that's what I try to do in my comedy is if I'm vulnerable, then people will see that they also, they also have the problems I have, and maybe they'll feel okay about it. But doing that allows people to go, "Oh, you got that problem? You a fag or whatever." So try to be vulnerable. Try to just make someone just try to bring happiness to people. I guess I don't know why I'm getting to this weird thing, but we're all over the place. But I love you all. We will back next week. We've got so many more guests planned and so many more things. Thanks for coming along this ride with me. I hope this was entertaining at all or something. I don't know, but get at me, leave messages, let me know, share, post this podcast, share the clips if you could, interact with the Instagram. That really helps. Um, we're all on the same team here. I really do consider you guys all on you're all my soldiers, but not in a way that like you work for me or anything. We're all just on I'm on your team too, as much as I can be. I try to respond. That's another thing I want to say is I try to respond to everyone. I get a lot of messages from people who listen to the podcast, and I try to respond to all of you, but sometimes you will message me and then continually keep talking. And if I got the time, I'd love to do it. But sometimes I just have to disconnect and walk away. So please don't be offended if I stop talking to you. And don't act like you have to change or do anything. Like I'll just don't be upset that if I'm like, oh man, I gotta go. I might not even say that if I don't respond for a while. I am trying to respond and talk to everyone. When I can. I just have limited bandwidth with Tina being pregnant and work and people I see in real life. So just don't be upset if I can't talk to all of you all of the time, and definitely don't be upset if I can't hang out. I get a lot of people who are like, "Hey, I'm coming to New York. I'd like to hang out with you," And I'm like, look, as much as I love to just hang out, that's like a whole day, and I only get 7 a week, and I have 8 friends, and I have to work, so it's hard to hang out sometimes. But I will try to message back. It's just like someone messaged me the other day, and they were like, "Hey, uh, when you're in Vegas, come to my house." And I can't come to your house. I mean, I would love a world where we were already friends, but I can't come to your house. They got the goddamn Eiffel Tower here. I'm gonna go see this fake Eiffel Tower, and they got this. I got a wife I got to do. But hey, how about I just say hey on a message and we talk a little bit about Batman or whatever? I could do that. Come to your house. Wild move. But hey man, I don't shoot your shot. You know what I mean? The guy shot a shot. I just got to grab the ball and go, hey, I can't come to your house. You know what I mean? But sometimes maybe I can. I don't know. Who knows? Anyway, you're all wonderful, and thank you so much for listening. And we will. I hope this wasn't weird. I'm not gonna fucking hate myself. I'm. God bless. What do I just fucking kill myself? Who cares? I think about killing myself the other day. I think a lot about. I did this. I wanted to tell you guys this, and then I'm gonna go. Called the front desk for a knife. I said, "Do you guys have a knife at the hotel?" And the lady goes, "I can't send you up a knife." And I was like, "Why?" And she was like, "Well, you could do something bad with a knife." And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna do something bad to someone else. I'll probably just kill myself." And she did not laugh at that. And I was like, "I'm kidding, you know." And then I'm shorthanding this conversation. Some of those things didn't happen, but she wouldn't give me the knife. And I was like, "Can you just send me up?" I needed a knife to open up this bath bomb I bought because I couldn't. And then she was like, "I can't send you a knife," but I'm like, "Just send me a knife." And she wouldn't. But what I did was I ordered. So I said, "Well, do you do room service?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Send me up a steak." And me and my wife ate a steak. And you know what came with that steak? A knife. So I got the knife. She didn't even realize what I was doing. I was like, "All right, so you can send me a knife with a steak. So you can't send me a knife on its own, you know?" Well, I asked her if she sent me a spoon. She said she sent me a spoon. I could have a spoon. Well, I guess a spoon you can't kill yourself with as easily. So it's hard. So you won't just send me the easiest way to kill myself. You just want to make it very difficult for me to kill myself. Also, if you saw this, there's a balcony. I am on the 39th floor. They do not care about losers in this hotel. I tell you that much. Okay, you lose at the casino. You come up to this 39th floor, you can fling yourself off. No one gives a shit. They don't care. You need to put up a fence. You can't be having 39th floor up and they can just walk outside. Please. But anyway, don't kill yourself, folks. I will kill myself. Not now, at some point. I do want to. I think the biggest fuck you to the universe is taking your own life. Because here's the thing you have to understand. I do not want people out there to kill themselves because you have so much more life to give, right? You're a factory that can be delivering happiness. We need that factory running as long as possible just to keep more happiness in the universe. But when you're close to death, then I want to kill myself, right? Like if I'm like, I got 3 hours left. If the guy is like, you got 6 months to live, I'm going to wait 5 months, fling myself off of a roof because then I look at death and I go, fuck you, bitch. I did this. Although I could survive and death went, yeah, I did this. I kept you alive. Now you're paralyzed for the rest of your life. I don't know how death works, but I want to tell fuck you to death. I also love the idea that I have this is an old bit, but I love the idea there's an expiration date on me, right? I go, I'm going to kill myself when I'm 87 years old. So 73 or whatever the hell the year is, right? This way, you know when I'm going. You want to hang out? You got to fit it in between there. You got to make sure you come and see me. And before I come and do it in a bathtub with a nice glass of wine, and I'm going to put some gasoline in the bathtub and I'm going to set it on fire because I want to go out in pain because pain is the only way to know you're alive. And I want to know I'm alive right before I die. Don't kill yourself, people. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say here, it's the control that I want, but I want it as close to death as possible as a fuck you to death. So what I'm trying to say, I'm only promoting suicide 20 minutes before you're going to die anyway, if that makes sense. But I want you guys alive. But well, if you're listening to this podcast, I need you to be alive because I need you to tell people tell people that you enjoy me, I think, but that's it. I guess that'll go. I need Brendan or Anthony to tell me when I've said weird things or point out crazy things that I can make them funny, because no one laughed this whole podcast. Maybe you did as you're listening to it, but maybe you didn't. No one in this room laughed, but there's no one here. Fungool. All right. Thank you all so much. I'll see you later. Bye.
Pick up your head, pick up your body, get on the bus, it's time to party. It's Gregory, it is a Saturday night Gregory. Take your socks off and take your pants on, get in the car and drive on Friday night Gregory. It is a Friday night Gregory. Born in the darkness, my man was too high. He created the show, so that is why that you have Gregory. Oh, Friday night Gregory.